In the digital age, our lives are ruled by technology. We rely on smartphones, laptops, and electric vehicles, often unaware of the complex processes behind their creation. One crucial element, often overlooked, is cobalt. This silvery blue metal is an essential component of lithium-ion batteries, powering everything from our smartphones to electric cars. Without cobalt, our modern world would grind to a halt. Demand for cobalt has skyrocketed in recent years, driven by the growing demand for consumer electronics and the transition to electric vehicles. This surge in demand has put a spotlight on the Democratic Republic of Congo, which holds more than half of the world's cobalt reserves. While the DRC possesses this valuable resource, the country is plagued by poverty, instability, and a long history of exploitation. The cobalt trade in the DRC is a complex issue, intertwined with human rights concerns, environmental degradation, and political instability. It is a story of both the promise and peril of a resource-rich nation grappling with poverty and exploitation. This essay delves into the heart of the Congolese cobalt trade, examining the human cost behind our technological dependence and exploring pathways towards a more sustainable and ethical future. The cobalt mines of the DRC are primarily concentrated in the southern regions of the country, particularly in the provinces of Lualaba and Haut-Katanga. These regions are characterized by rolling hills, dense forests, and a landscape scarred by decades of mining activity. Unlike the large-scale industrial mines common in other parts of the world, cobalt mining in the DRC often takes the form of artisanal and small-scale mining. Artisanal mining is characterized by its labor-intensive nature and the use of basic tools. Miners, often working in hazardous conditions, dig tunnels and pits by hand, extracting cobalt ore from the earth. The work is physically demanding and fraught with risks, with miners facing the constant threat of tunnel collapses, landslides, and exposure to toxic substances. The cobalt extracted by artisanal miners is then sold to local traders and middlemen who play a crucial role in connecting the mines to the global supply chain. These middlemen aggregate the cobalt from various sources, often mixing it with ore from industrial mines before selling it onto larger trading companies. The human cost of cobalt mining in the DRC is undeniable. Artisanal miners, including children as young as 6, often work in extremely hazardous conditions, lacking even the most basic safety equipment. These miners face constant exposure to dust, which can lead to severe respiratory problems. Tunnel collapses and other mining accidents are common, often resulting in injuries or fatalities. Beyond the physical risks, cobalt miners and their families face significant social and economic challenges. Poverty forces many into the mines, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation and hardship. Child labor deprives children of education and opportunities, trapping them in a life of poverty. The lack of sanitation and healthcare in mining communities further exacerbates these challenges. The impact of cobalt mining extends beyond the mines themselves. The influx of miners and their families into mining regions often strains local resources, leading to deforestation, water scarcity, and conflict over land and resources. The environmental consequences further compound the challenges faced by communities already struggling with poverty and instability. The journey of cobalt from the mines of the DRC to our smartphones is a long and complex one, involving a network of intermediaries, processors, and manufacturers. Once extracted from the earth, cobalt ore is typically transported to local trading posts, where it is bought and sold by middlemen. These middlemen then sell the ore to larger trading companies, which aggregate it from various sources. From there, the cobalt ore is typically shipped to processing facilities, primarily located in China. In these facilities, the ore undergoes a complex refining process to extract the pure cobalt metal. China plays a dominant role in cobalt processing, with the majority of the world's cobalt refining capacity located within its borders. Once refined, the cobalt metal is sold to battery manufacturers who use it to produce the lithium-ion batteries that power our devices. These batteries are then incorporated into a wide range of consumer electronics, including smartphones, laptops, tablets, and electric vehicles. The cobalt trade is a global industry, with companies around the world relying on this crucial metal to power their products. The insatiable demand for smartphones, laptops, and electric vehicles has fueled a surge in demand for cobalt. As the key component of lithium-ion batteries, cobalt is essential for powering our increasingly tech-dependent world. This surge in demand has placed tremendous pressure on the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the world's leading supplier of cobalt, and has brought to light the ethical complexities of the global cobalt trade. Major tech companies, including Apple, Samsung, and Tesla, rely heavily on cobalt for their products. These companies, while often touting their commitment to sustainability and ethical sourcing, face growing scrutiny over their supply chains and the human rights implications of their reliance on Congolese cobalt. The sheer scale of the tech industry's demand for cobalt makes it challenging to ensure responsible sourcing practices throughout the entire supply chain. Tracing the origin of cobalt and ensuring that it is mined ethically is a complex task, but one that tech companies have a responsibility to address. Section 6. A troubled legacy: Congo's mining history. The DRC's history is deeply intertwined with its vast mineral wealth. The country, known for its abundance of copper, cobalt, diamonds and gold, has long been a target of exploitation and conflict fueled by its resources. This troubled legacy casts a long shadow over the present-day cobalt trade. Belgian colonization in the late 19th century marked the beginning of large-scale mining in the DRC. The Belgian colonial regime ruthlessly exploited the country's resources, extracting vast quantities of rubber, ivory and minerals, while subjecting the Congolese people to brutal forced labor and atrocities. Following independence in 1960, the DRC experienced decades of political instability, dictatorship and civil war, often fueled by competition over the country's valuable resources. Armed groups, both domestic and foreign, have profited from the exploitation of minerals, including cobalt, perpetuating cycles of conflict and human rights abuses. Section 7. Breaking the cycle towards responsible sourcing. Addressing the complex challenges of the cobalt trade in the DRC requires a multifaceted approach, involving collaboration between governments, corporations, and civil society organizations. Responsible sourcing practices aimed at ensuring that cobalt is mined ethically and sustainably are crucial for breaking the cycle of poverty, conflict, and exploitation. One key aspect of responsible sourcing is traceability. By tracking cobalt throughout the supply chain, from mine to market, companies can gain greater visibility into the origin of their materials and identify potential risks. This transparency allows companies to make more informed decisions and to hold their suppliers accountable for ethical practices. Certification schemes, such as the Responsible Minerals Initiative, provide a framework for assessing and verifying responsible sourcing practices. These schemes set standards for environmental and social performance, labor conditions, and human rights, helping to ensure that cobalt is mined responsibly. Section 8. The power of choice. A call to action. As consumers, we have a powerful role to play in driving demand for responsibly sourced cobalt. By making informed choices about the products we buy and the companies we support, we can send a clear message to the tech industry that ethical sourcing matters. Support companies that are transparent about their supply chains and that demonstrate a commitment to responsible sourcing practices. Look for products that are certified by reputable organizations such as the RMI, as these certifications provide a level of assurance that the cobalt used in these products has been mined responsibly. Demand more from your elected officials. Advocate for stronger regulations and policies that promote responsible sourcing and hold companies accountable for human rights abuses in their supply chains. Support initiatives aimed at improving working conditions for miners and promoting economic development in mining communities. Section 9. Looking forward, a future free from conflict minerals. The journey towards a sustainable and ethical cobalt trade is ongoing. It requires a collective effort from all stakeholders, including governments, corporations, civil society organizations, and consumers. By working together, we can create a future where the technology we rely on is powered by cobalt, that is free from conflict and exploitation. Investing in technological advancements such as Battery recycling and the development of cobalt-free batteries is crucial for reducing our reliance on conflict-prone regions like the DRC. By diversifying our sources of cobalt and exploring alternative materials, we can create a more resilient and ethical supply chain. The cobalt trade in the DRC is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the impact our consumption patterns have on communities far removed from our daily lives. By making conscious choices, demanding transparency, and supporting ethical practices, we can contribute to a future where technology empowers rather than exploits.